Hi guys, I'm Genie. So today I'll talk about something I find kinda boring but everyone likes. Now, am I talking about Harry Potter? No, but kinda. Which is grinding the ladder. And since I'm playing a very strong deck currently, stronger than ever in my opinion, I'm gonna share with you guys, so those of you who want to grind the ranked mode, you have a way to do it. In this video I'm gonna talk why this deck is good to climb right now, what to do in the most frequent matchups, and what deck counters this one. So yeah, if you want to climb right now or want to stop getting stomped by Draven decks, which in where I live is very frequent, everyone loves this deck, you want to be playing Karma Ezreal. This archetype is on the top 5 as far as I can remember, and I believe it won't lose its spot so early, so let's talk about it. Your game plan while playing this deck is simple. You want to remove their units, make your Eyes of the Dragon stick to the board so you have something to block and get some health, which is extremely easy to do since you have so many spells to play every turn, until you can level up Ezreal and OTK your opponent with the help of Karma if needed. The only times you may consider dropping Ezreal, in my opinion, is if you're going against a very aggro deck, those Draven ones, and you don't have any spells enough to to survive. So you may want to attack with Ezreal to get that Mystic Shot. And considering that those decks tend not to have good removal, you may consider it more, but it's more like a desperate measure, to be honest. You don't want to be dropping Ezreal left and right. What you want to do pretty much every time is hold Ezreal on your hand, level him up, and drop him only when you have the intention to kill your enemy on the same turn. There are many burst spells, so it's not that difficult to do it, and with the help of Karma, believe me, you will overkill a lot. So I've been finding the same deck types on the ladder all the time, and they're all viable to win against with this deck. I'll talk about 3 different matchups, and then the one that I think it's impossible to win. But it's not that common nowadays, so you shouldn't bother. Against very aggro-oriented decks, it's pretty intuitive. You want to drag the game down as long as possible, because the more mana you have, more answers you will have for their threats. And considering that those decks tend to run out of steam very fast, it will get to the point where they will only have 2 cards in hand and 1 follower on board. At that point, you've won the game. So what you want to do is pretty simple. You want to survive the early aggression, and after that, you're in heaven. Now let's talk about those pesky bannermen in mid-range Demacia. Those are tricky, I'm not gonna lie to you. Preferably, you want the game to go the same way that it goes with aggro enemies, but it probably won't, where you can answer all their threats and that's it, you win the game. But it probably won't be like that. In this matchup, you want to make use of Eyes of the Dragon as much as possible to get health back. Seriously, it's very important to get health back as much as possible. Your main concern should be not to let them develop a board, because you may look like your hand and think, nah, I'm fine, I have removal. And when you try to remove a lot of followers at once, they will use Ranger's Resolve, and that's it, you lost the game to a board full of 1 health followers. So the most important thing is to try and keep the board controlled, because once they have it, it will be hard to get it back. Oh, and by the way, if you're not pressed into a corner, try not to waste Will of Ionia, because you may lose to an Unyielding Spirit if you're not prepared for it, and believe me, it feels pretty bad, because the first time I didn't know this card existed. Now I do. And the last common matchup that we're going to talk about is the mirror match. And sadly, in a mirror match, wins the first one who levels up Ezreal. So don't feel pressured to put followers on board. If your enemy is closer than you to level up his Ezreal, pass some turns, control the board to pick it up. The only thing you should keep in mind is to maintain 9 cards so you don't burn anything important. But if you really want to win, don't get impatient. That's how you lose games and start making mistakes, like terrible mistakes, because you unfortunately, with Ezreal/Karma mirror matches, they tend to drag out quite a lot, and take your time by default, so there's no running away from it. So on a mirror match, keep calm, have patience, and prepare your hand and mana to kill your enemy on one turn, because that's the only way to do it. Now the only puzzle that I haven't figured out yet, and I believe that this deck is a counter to this one, and there's no way around it, and I'm talking about Maokai Mill deck. Because when playing Ezreal, you want to be dictating the pace of the game, but against a Maokai deck, it simply looks like there's no way to do it. There's no way to be in control of the game, because you want the game to finish fast if you're against those type of decks, but there's no apparent way that you can finish the game fast enough as a Ezreal, because you want the game as a Ezreal to drag out. But if the game drags out, you lose your deck. So it's a corner. I don't believe that there's any way to deal with it. So I think it's a very weird matchup to play. Tell me what you think in the comments about it, because this is a puzzle that I didn't solve yet. Perhaps I will, but I think this is a hard counter and there's no way around it. And that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked the video, and until the next one, see ya!